I'm Prathmesh, and you're listening to the news updates for 10th September 2024. Here are the international news updates for today. Israeli strike in Gaza humanitarian zone kills 19. At least 19 people have been killed in an overnight Israeli strike in the designated humanitarian zone in southern Gaza. Witnesses said the strike obliterated an area crowded with tents for displaced Palestinians in Al Mawasi, southwest of Khan Yunis, leaving huge craters in the sand. The Israeli military said its aircraft attacked what it called a number of senior Hamas terrorists operating there, a claim Hamas has denied. Hundreds of thousands of people from other areas of Gaza are living in dire conditions in Al Mawasi after being told by Israel to evacuate there for their own safety. The UN says the humanitarian zone spans only 41 square kilometers. US alleges Iran sent ballistic missiles to Russia. The United States and Britain today formally accused Iran of supplying short range ballistic missiles to Russia to use in the war in Ukraine and said they will take measures to punish those involved. US Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, speaking alongside British Foreign Secretary David Lammy during a visit to London, said that sanctions would be announced later today. It comes as Blinken and Lammy are preparing to make a joint visit Wednesday to Ukraine, where they will meet President Volodymyr Zelensky and other senior officials. Meanwhile, Russian officials say they shot down 144 Ukrainian drones around the country overnight in a wave of attacks that have killed one woman, set residential buildings on fire, and grounded flights in Moscow. Floods inundate North Vietnam as Typhoon Yagi death toll climbs. Severe floods are expected to inundate parts of Vietnam's north, including the capital Hanoi, government officials said. The aftermath of Typhoon Yagi, the most powerful storm to hit Asia so far this year, continues to extract a deadly toll. Landslides and floods triggered by the typhoon have killed at least 82 people and 64 others are missing in the north, the disaster management agency said today. Most of the victims were killed in landslides and flash floods, and 752 people have been injured. The typhoon made landfall on Saturday on Vietnam's northeastern coast. Now to the national news stories. Bengal doctors continue strike as Supreme Court deadline to resume work ends. The junior doctors in state-run hospitals across West Bengal demanding justice for the RG Car hospital victim since August 9 continued with the cease work on Tuesday, well past the 5 p.m. deadline set by Supreme Court a day earlier. The striking medics instead upped the ante by taking the protest to the doorsteps of the Swasthya Bhavan from RG Car Hospital on Tuesday. They held a rally and started a sit-in outside Swasthya Bhavan in Salt Lake after being stopped by the police. The apex court on Monday directed the striking junior doctors to resume their duties by 5 p.m. on Tuesday to avoid adverse action by the state government. Curfew imposed internet snapped for 5 days in Manipur. Mobile internet, broadband, and VPNs were banned for 5 days in Manipur against the backdrop of a fresh spurt of violence since the beginning of this month. An order by the state government's Home Department states, in view of the prevailing law and order situation in the state of Manipur, there is apprehension that some antisocial elements might use social media extensively for transmission of images, hate speech, and hate video messages inciting the passions of the public, which might have serious repercussions for the law and order situation in the state of Manipur. Earlier in the day, an indefinite curfew was imposed in both the Imphal districts on Tuesday, as 11 people have been killed in different incidents of ethnic violence in the state since September 1. Students have led massive protests in the valley areas, particularly in Thoubal and Imphal. Air Force Wing Commander accused of rape by woman flying officer. A woman flying officer of Indian Air Force has accused a Wing Commander rank officer of rape, resulting in a first information report or FIR being filed at Budgam police station in central Kashmir. Both the Indian Air Force officers are currently stationed in Srinagar. The woman officer alleged she had been suffering harassment, sexual assault, and mental torture for the past 2 years as per reports. Thank you for listening to Indie Radio Newsreel. For more news, audiobooks, and podcasts, stay tuned to Indie Radio or log on to www.indiejournal.in. Also consider subscribing to listen to our premium shows.